one of the real anxieties of combat when you first get there is, are you able to do it? Can you handle fighting? I mean, what if you didn't? And we experienced guys that froze up; they just couldn't do it. And we had one guy had to pry his hands off the twin fifties. He just froze up, and he'd been there for a while. So I think one of the key points is that it stresses is, are you going to be able to handle this not only the first time, which is the most, that's the start, but can you do it for an entire year? And so I think that's another part of the anxiety of combat.
We,
Can you do it?
yeah, you mentioned there was one story, right, where the question was, if I remember correctly, why didn't that 50 fire? And someone asked you to go
Mhm.
check to see if
Yeah.
something was wrong with it, and it turns out the 50 was fine, just the guy never shot because he just froze up.
And he was removed from the boats. Um, we had one of our guys, one of the severely wounded uh, South Vietnamese soldier, was lifted aboard the boat next to us, and the guy was extreme heat. He was stressed in the twin fifties, and he passed out and hit the firing bar on the fifties, and it fired into the boat next door. And those things happen in combat. Fortunately, he was hurt, and he recovered and went on to serve the rest of his term with us, his time. But those things happen. It's you've got people under extreme stress, and everybody reacts differently every day. And some days you can handle it better, and some days you're just terrified. But you have to give the people who go through it credit, because they did get through it. And the ones that couldn't handle it. I'm not critical. I mean, I don't know what is the marker for makes somebody can do it and some can't. But I was never critical if somebody just couldn't do it anymore, and all you had to do was say, I'm done. I don't want to.
Did you, I talked to a soldier who was in 3 Corps and just saw a lot of combat. And at one point, I guess his sergeant just basically said, "You're done. I mean, we're going to get you out of here," because it was clear that he was going to snap and do something crazy because he had just come to the end at the end of his rope. Do you recollect ever having that feeling? I mean, you guys are getting hit so often. Um, did you remember ever having that thought, like, how much more of this can I take before I just can't do this anymore?
Well, you just don't want to let down your crew, your guys. You want to. I mean, we had one swift guy that figured out a way to get out early. I won't talk about that, but and abandon his crew. But most of the uh, most of us wouldn't leave, because we would feel it would be a betrayal of the people we served with. So no, I was never any thought of uh, trying to leave early. I don't think. I think it would just not be. It would be looked at as, we let our crew down. We're all essential. I had a severe fungal infection, skin, basically called the jungle rot, when I was over there, and because it was humid and unsanitary, and my skin just reacted. I had terrible, it was red, and there I still suffer from it today. But the corpsman wanted to send me out, and said, "You got to get out of here. This is going to get worse and worse." I said, "I won't go. I'm not going to do it." So, you know,
And
that's just,
that's not about a commitment to fighting communism. That's not about Yankee Doodle.
oh, sure.
That's about the sailors I'm with.
Yeah. Oh, fighting. That was the farthest thought from our mind, was God and country, fighting communists, any of that stuff. It was survival and not letting your fellow crew members down.